Welcome and demorada to my fellow Sabassemblers and other fellow collectors to today's unboxing of the XM Studios Beast statue on quarter scale. And just before we continue, I just want to say thank you again to all my fellow Sabassemblers and all my other supporters. And I just want to say thank you for everything. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to hit the like button and definitely don't forget to subscribe. And we're still trying to get the 1,000 subscribers and we're still on a good way, so please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on the way. So after a while we have another X-Men statues from XM Studios, and this time it's the Beast statue. It's a statue that it's not really a breathtaking statue, but it's a wonderful depiction of the character from the Beast of the X-Men character line. And this time it's finally here. It's not a huge box, but it's also not heavy, but it's finally here. So let's do less talking and more unboxing and get this dude out.
ሰየው ቤት ተውቦ ባፍላው ተከቦ አይ ለመውደድ ማሳቅበታል ጎንደሬ መቻልክበት አይ ለመውደድ ማሳቅበታል ጎንደሬ መቻልክበታል።
Okay, so here we have the box of the Beast, and as I said, it's not really heavy, but I mean it's not light, but it's not too heavy. And as usual, we have the nice sturdy XM Studios packaging. It says Marvel, and you have the nice X-Men logo saying Beast. And let's just take the cover off. And again, as usual, we have all the people involved in the production of this piece named here. And I believe this time we have another picture here of the Beast. And this time I'm realizing they don't give a description of the character. And usually they write a short description of the character, but here it just says Beast quarter scale. It's not a big deal, but it's something I observed the first time. So let's get out all the individual pieces and I'll get back to you for the assembly. ናምባራስ ነው ደንቢያ የበቀልክበት ናምባራስ ነው ደንቢያ የበቀልክበት ካይኩን አምላክ ነው ወይ ካሰሚናስ ከፋሲል ነዘር ከገላዲዮስ አስበ መደዳው ዘርን ቋጠር አመቻ ተገነው የብረት አጥር ነስፈን መደዳው ዘርን ቋጠር ናመቻ ተገነው የብረት አጥር ተውዳማይ ደማየን ተውዳማይ ደማየን ተውዳማይ ደማየን ተውዳማይ ደማየን ተውዳማይ ደማየን ደሞ ለጎንደር ሰው ደሞ ለሰሜን ሰው ደሞ ለጎንደር ሰው ደሞ ለሰሜን ሰው ለጋስ ቋድስ ነው ማሸስ ማሞገስ ነው መፈቀርም ሰንሰው ለጋስ ቋድስ። Okay, welcome back everyone. We've unboxed all the individual pieces I have right next to me. This statue doesn't come with too many pieces. It's actually just a pretty simple statue, I believe, to assemble. And we have this pretty relatively small base, but I can tell you, for this size base, this is a very solid base, and it's got some decent weight to it, I can tell you that. And as usual, we have, or with at least most of the X-Men statues, we have this Sentinel base. As I believe here we have a Sentinel Hand that's totally damaged. You have the inside of the hand where with the glass cover that's smashed, and with a lot of nice details to it. The stone has been done nicely and looking pretty good. So let's continue with the assembly, and I believe the first part should be like maybe would be Beast or the Beast or Base. Come on, would be Beast himself, and he goes, I believe, right here in the front with a huge peg and a key, and just fit that in, and that went in pretty nicely, pretty simple. And even Beast, I mean, he's got some decent weight to it. Trust me, this is a very solidly built piece, and I mean, almost all the whole, except for the portrait, the whole base. I mean, come on, the whole Beast is in one piece. Even the hands and the left hand, the right hand. Only the portrait is different because that's probably the only switch out on this statue. And next, I believe, would be the fingers of the Sentinel Hand, and these are color coded and all come with pegs and keys. And this is the black one, I believe, and that one should go in right here. I think it's the second one from the left side, and here we have one finger broken off. And then we have the red one. That's the first, the large finger that goes in right here. No issues there, or maybe not. And he goes in, yeah, no problem. Next would be the black finger, and that one maybe, let's put that one aside for now. And then we have the white one, that's, I believe, the pinky, and he goes in right here from behind, and just put that in. Looks good. And here we have the golden color one, that's the middle finger. He goes in right here in the center. I don't believe there's any right order to put these in. It doesn't really matter which order you put these in. And here we have the thumb also broken off, and that one just goes in right here on the right side of Beast. And shouldn't be any issue. And then we have the choice of the two portraits. You have the one portrait with him wearing the glasses and one without the glasses. Both look totally enraged, and only difference is just the glasses. And let's start with the one without wearing the glasses, just the regular look. And that one just goes in, and we're already done. This was it. And here we have Beast, looking great. And as I said before, this is not like a eye-catcher statue, I believe, but it's definitely a really nice statue of Beast, and you have so much details, and it's pretty, in person it's actually much more dynamic than I thought. Honestly, this was one of those statues I wasn't really convinced about at first. I actually, as I showed you before, like on Facebook, and I got Psylocke and Beast together in. I first wasn't sure whether I should get those or not, because I was planning to get the XM Studios King Predator on Throne piece instead of both of these, because I mean together the price would be the same. But I mean, I would have waited a bit longer for that statue, so in the meantime I just thought, let me get these two, and who knows, maybe in the future I'll get the other one too, but we'll see about that. So here we have Beast, looking great. You have this really nice dark blue color of the character, and you have these totally damaged hand of the Sentinel that's been like ripped off and crashed into the ground during battle, and looking great. I mean, what I like about this one is like the size of the hand. You have like the whole hand of the Sentinel here, looking great. So let's just quickly switch out the other head and just see how that looks like, and also looks really nice. So I'll just take a few moments to look at all the details and get back to you for the review. Okay, welcome back everyone. Here we have the Beast from XM Studios assembled, and I've had some moments to analyze the statue, looking at all the details, and my conclusion is I think it's a great statue of XM Studios of Beast. Since their first one, I believe they've done a great job. It's not perfect. There are a few things where I think they could have been done better in terms of probably quality control, I believe. But otherwise, apart from that, I think it's a great statue, and I think it will be a great asset to my X-Men line. And I think Beast is a character that, if you're trying to build up a X-Men collection, I think it has to be there. I think it's one of those most important X-Men characters you can't just leave away. It's got to be there. So let's get back to the details of this statue and start with the concept of the statue. I think XM has done a great job with the character. When you see it, I mean, immediately you'll tell this is Beast with this classical comic look, and that they've done a great job. I mean, you have him in a fairly dynamic pose, and you see him in the middle of a fight with the Sentinels, and looking great to me. I think in terms of concept, they've done a great job. And number two, let's start with the base. And the base is just, I mean, you have this rock base, and you have the whole Sentinel hand just crashed down into the ground, and it's totally ripped off, and it's just opened up. I think this is the biggest whole Sentinel hand I've ever seen on a XM base. I mean, usually you just see a few fingers of a Sentinel or parts of a Sentinel, but this time they gave you like almost the whole hand. You see like Beast just jumping into the hand and ripping off parts of the fingers. Here on the left hand you have the tip of his pinky finger, and on the right side you see him like ripping off part of his thumb, and he's just like roaring out. And you see if you look on the back, you see the whole hand is totally demolished during the fight. You see all the fingers are totally kind of dismantled and out of order and not in place where they should be. They're totally crashed and totally I mean, good for nothing. You see parts of the ring finger that is totally missing, and see all the scratches and all the weathering and of the knuckles, the whole hand, and done a great job there, and nothing to complain about the base. And on the inside you have their like kind of power blast, and you see this piece which is supposed to be like glass. It's like more like plastic, but unless you touch it, I mean, they've done a great job with the look of the glass, and nothing to complain about there. And you see all these different shadings of the rock. You see kind of reds, browns, and lighter grays, darker grays, and see all these small pieces of rebar looking out from all sides. Great job there. And wow, I just saw these scratches. They look like Wolverine's claws, and you see these things repeatedly over different parts of the statue. Like on one side you have these three on one finger, and then on another one right here, and then you see those repeatedly, as I said before, on three parts. It's not a big thing, but it's a nice implication to Wolverine, and you're probably never going to see them because they're on the back, but still it's a nice extra. And let's look at Beast himself. I think from the sculpt of Beast, I think they did a great job, and especially those blue tones. You see the blacks on the inside, and then on the outside you have this blue tones and the darker blues, lighter blues, and in combination with the blacks you get this kind of illusion that it's all that kind of a dark blue and looks great. And see the same thing, and you see the sculpt of his hair is like kind of just going around all over the place, all over his body, and even on his portrait you have the hair like this kind of classical shape hair, and kind of the hair is looking out, and I'm pretty happy. I think these are pieces that could have actually broken off during shipping, but I'm lucky enough with, XM's, the top-notch packaging, nothing broke off here, everything's still there and looking great. And I think the portraits are done top-notch here. You see, especially on the inside of his mouth, you see the teeth, they're really sharp, and see the inside you have this wet look on the inside of his mouth, and you see the different shadings of his teeth. You see parts are white, some parts a little bit more yellow, and you have this kind of animal, kind of wolf-like inside mouth, and it's all wet, and he's just totally angry. And especially the eyes, you have this kind of totally whited out eyes with the small red going around on the edges of the eyes. You can see he's totally furious and ready to attack. And looking at his kind of speedos, you have these black or very dark blue speedos with different textures all around, and the yellow belt and the X-Men logo in the middle looks great. Nothing phenomenal there, but still nice look, especially like the yellow part. It's kind of leather look. The sculpt, it's not just like a plain kind of plain texture. It's got a lot of texture to it to make it look like it's a yellow kind of leather, and I think they've done a great job there. And even there you have different shadings on the edges, on the inside where it's a bit darker. You can see that it's been weathered. Looking good there to me. And nice part are the nails. Like the nails, they're very shiny. They're kind of almost polished, and see they're really, and you see them, you see the color changing as the further you go out to the tip of the nails. You see on the tip of the nails it's more like they start to become white, whereas on the insides they're totally black, and you see them going lighter and lighter, and they did a great job there too. It looks really nice. Maybe he goes to manicure and you have the same thing like on his hands. I don't know, maybe he goes for pedicure or manicure, that's why they're so polished. I don't know, that's just an option. And what else is there to say? Yeah, things I'm not too happy about of the statue are maybe the first thing that appeared to me was on his hands. Maybe this is like when the hands, obviously first they're one piece, but I believe it's one of those pieces where they kind of connected it to the main body and then they glued it in, and you can see like on the edges there's some kind of seam line, and where like not all parts kind of fit in properly, and you see that on this other hand too, and even more on the right arm, like the shoulder, the connection between the biceps and the shoulder, like there you see some spaces that just doesn't look right. Maybe that's some issue of quality control. Unless you really look at it, you're not going to see it, but I think for XM Studios that shouldn't be the case. And another issue might be there's a slight seam line on the inside of the connection of the portrait and the neck, but from the front you're never going to see that unless you look from behind. And since the statue only has one switch out, that's the portrait, let's just switch that out and look at the portrait with the glasses again. And this actually looks pretty nice too, but you just get this kind of Professor Beast look here, and in the middle of the battle, interesting idea, but realistically I don't think he'll be wearing his glasses during battle. But there are no glasses inside there are no lenses inside the glasses, they're just open, but it still looks kind of interesting. But here again you have pretty much the same portrait as with the other one, a little bit different but pretty much the same idea. Only difference are just the glasses. But yeah, that was pretty much it. And this is actually a pretty small statue. I think it's maybe one of the smallest from the X-Men line, and for XM Studios this is also a pretty small base. And once we're talking about the size of the statue, I'll give you some measurements. In height of this, the height of the statue is almost exactly 44 and a half centimeters. And in width, it just depends on from which angle you're looking at it. I believe the front of the statue would be if you're looking right at his face and not right at his body. But that's just up to you guys. But let's just look at the widest possible option, and that's about 40 centimeters if you're looking at from the tip of his thumb all the way to the outside of his pinky. But probably if I would display would be just like this, and that would make it much smaller, I believe. This way would probably only be maybe 30 centimeters, only be like 30 centimeters wide. And in depth, this way should be around maybe 39 also centimeters, or if we're looking at it right from the side, it would be probably only maybe 27, 28 centimeters. But it's, for this statue, it's a bit hard to say where exactly the front or the side is, because you could actually display him in different ways. So that's all up to you, depending on how you want to display him and depending on the space you have for the statue. But that's all I have to say for that. And yeah, we're lucky enough to get a plaque for this statue. Let's just take that out and look at it. And as you know, I always love these XM plaques. I mean, who doesn't? So let's just take off this plastic part. And here the plaque comes with the regular portrait, looking nice. Limited edition Marvel Beast, very nice. And this will definitely look good next to it on the display. And wow, and I hope this will look good in my collection, give you some more extra pictures on that. And I hope you like this unboxing. And just to remind you, if you're new to my channel, please don't forget the like button. Definitely don't forget to subscribe. We're still trying to get to 1,000. So all I can say is now is God bless you, God bless our statues, and have a nice day.
ما فكر مسان